welcome to my channel, Heart's Content Farmhouse, where today I am going to be making with you this apple cider soap. This is a palm-free cold processed soap recipe that's really pretty easy and turned out really good. We added a really nice fall fragrance to it, and it was just kind of fun to make this with apple cider. So really, you can take any of your favorite soap recipes that contain a good blend of oils and use them to make soap with apple cider. Just substitute instead of water, do a prepared apple cider, and you're going to get basically the same result. One thing to keep in mind is there's a ton of sugar in apple cider, and anytime we add sugar to soap, it heats it up and makes it act a little bit strange. So when we're working with honey, milk, anything like that, we want to try to chill things down in the beginning to control that. So the very first step in this soap is to measure your apple cider out. We are using 10 ounces here, and then I'm just going to pop this in the freezer. I don't want it to freeze solid. I still want to be able to mix it up with the lye, but I want it to be slushy and super, super cold so that when I add the lye, it doesn't overheat when all of that sugar kicks in. So we've got our 10 ounces of apple cider, and while that is chilling down, we can go ahead and measure out all the other ingredients. We are going to use 4.21 ounces of lye, 5 ounces of sweet almond oil, 8 ounces of coconut oil, 12 ounces of olive oil, and 5 ounces of shea butter. So this is going to give us a really nicely balanced, firm bar without using any palm oil. And as a bonus, most of these ingredients are pretty affordable. The shea butter is a little bit expensive per ounce, but we're only using 5 ounces of it, and the bulk of this is going to be olive and coconut, which are really affordable. Check on our apple cider. It's got that good slushy consistency, which is what we're looking for. And we are going to add in the lye very carefully, always making sure we're keeping safety in mind when we're working with lye. And I'm just going to mix this up to make sure all of it gets dissolved. Now I can feel the mixture getting hot. It's not as hot as if I were just working with regular room temperature water, but it's still warming up. It's melting. The cider is actually changing color as that heat gets introduced, and it's starting to look a little bit weird. That is all perfectly normal. Just keep on stirring, set it aside to cool just like you would for any other soap. Our next step is just to melt these butters and oils. So we're going to do this over a large old pot. I'm going to pour everything in, melt it over a low heat, and then also set this aside. Okay, so we're going to walk away, let everything cool. Make sure you really have everything tucked away in a safe place. You don't want anybody knocking over your apple cider, especially since this looks sort of appealing. Well, the color looks weird, but apple cider sounds good. You want to make absolutely sure that nobody were to touch this or drink this. It would be extremely dangerous or even fatal. So mark it, put it out of reach, make sure you tell everyone to leave it alone, or better yet, do it at a time when you're alone in the house. So now everything is right temperature. We're looking for around 110 degrees. Your apple cider may actually be cooler. Since we started out with that slushy mixture, it may have never heated up that much and may be a little bit below 100. Honestly, that is a-okay. So now we are going to pour everything in, pour that lye cider into our melted oils, and stick blend. This particular recipe is probably the longest to come to trace of any of my soap recipes. This took me about 4 minutes of solid stick blending before I got even a light trace. Our fragrance today is probably my very favorite fragrance of all time, called Comfort and Joy by Nurture Soaps, and I will link that for you in the description. It's perfect for this recipe because it's fruity, but it's also warm and spicy, so it smells exactly like you would want your cider soap to smell like, but the cider itself is not going to really add any fragrance, unfortunately. So I'm going to pour that in now that our soap is at trace. Mix it up gently. Once you've added fragrance, don't use the power of your stick blender. Just use the stick blender but stir it right first. And we're going to pour all of this into this 10-inch silicone mold. This would also be great in a bar mold. So I'm going to do a loaf mold here. And I was nervous about this soap because of the sugar. Whenever I make a honey soap, I let it cure in the freezer. But this one was just behaving really well. It didn't trace too fast, it didn't overflow in the pot. It was actually really good, so I decided just to put it in a turned off oven, just at room temperature. I didn't warm the oven up or anything like that. You just put it in a totally cold off oven, just leave it undisturbed, just to kind of see what would happen and to see if I needed to do any type of chilling for the cure time. And as it turns out, it didn't. After 24 hours, it was ready to unmold. It unmolded easily. You can see as I'm cutting, it is a little bit soft, but that's okay. Time is going to take care of that, and it'll be a great soap in the end. So our end result is this finished sort of like off tan bar. It's definitely not the color of apple cider. If you wanted a deeper color, there are a lot of micas you could add that are going to be like in the rust family that would be really beautiful with us. But for me, the natural color is fine. It looks sort of honey colored, but it definitely lightens up quite a bit as it cured, and that is A-okay. The fragrance is good. Again, it's a little bit soft. Within a day or so, this is going to totally cure and be a really nice bar. So as always, I will put the full recipe in the description box below, along with links to anything that I used in this video. And you can also head over to my blog and find out for you there. If you want to enjoy this in the fall, make sure you go ahead and make it now, let it cure, and you'll have it ready just in time for apple season. So have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy yours.